What is up, guys? It's Ian from the PI Podcast, and I'm here to talk some Jaguar football. First off, I would like to talk about how good our defense is looking. It's given a lot of people 2017 vibes. I'm not sure that's able to be replicated. However, this defense is going to be extremely good. In my opinion, it's going to be a top 12 to top 15. And if Tyson Campbell continues to develop like he has, and Trayvon Walker is the guy that should have been drafted at number 1, it could be top 10. And I don't think that's a crazy thing to think. We have a very good defensive coordinator, and we have very good pieces at each position. Our linebacker core set, our defensive line set. We have 2 good edge rushers. We have 3 good corners, and Andre Cisco could have a breakout year. I mean, he's going into his second year. He's going to get a lot of opportunities to prove himself. We could see a very good defensive unit this year. One thing I would like to say to Steelers fans, I've been watching them the past couple weeks, and I personally think that Kenny Pickett is the guy. He's very accurate. He takes what the defense gives him. He doesn't try to make crazy plays like a Carson Wentz or Patrick Mahomes. But you see 2 different quarterbacks that do it, 2 completely different outcomes. Patrick Mahomes makes the plays, Carson Wentz doesn't. I think our offensive line looked very good. They did allow the sack to TJ Watt, but that was Walker Little, who's a left tackle, getting converted to right tackle, and he hasn't had a lot of reps. I mean, granted, he hasn't preseason, but his whole rookie year, he was a left tackle. College, he was a left tackle. He did play right tackle before, but it's a long time ago. I think Ben Barch looked good. I think he's going to be our left guard. And Cam Robinson did what he's paid to do. And so did Brandon Scherf. Brandon Scherf made a couple of very good blocks in the screen play. And Trevor had a lot of time in the pocket. He was able to make his reads. Now on to Trevor Lawrence. He did miss a couple throws. Seemed a little rusty, kind of. But overall, he looked like he was on target for the most part. He made some very beautiful throws. Christian Kirk looked very good. Tim Jones looked very good. Zay Jones has looked good all preseason. Marvin Jones made some really solid catches as well. I didn't see any real drops, or concerning drops, I should say. So already an improvement from last year. But this video is not just going to be about all the good things I've seen from the Jaguars. There was a couple of bad things that I noticed. First things first, our run game is not very good at the moment. It will be better when James Robinson gets back. Sorry, I still have the COVID cough. But it needs improvement before the season. And granted, we haven't been using our whole playbook. That could be part of it. The play action worked very good, which means the running game should start to work. I'm not too worried about it because I know Travis Etienne and James Robinson are going to be a great duo. I just hope they don't put James Robinson in too early. And I think Snoop Connor will get better. He's not been bad. I think I've liked what I've seen from him. It's just you got to be quicker. The holes fill faster. And he'll get that all down, in my opinion. I think he'll be fine. I think it was worth the draft pick because James Robinson being hurt. One other thing that I didn't like on offense, there's 2 more things I'm going to talk about, but this one, it just seems like they took a minute to get heated up. They came out the gate. They were making some plays, but to me, they were missing passes at the beginning, and then they were on it later on. And I just wish they would come out on fire. You know what I'm saying? If you watched the Bills game yesterday, Josh Allen came out. I mean, they went 3 for 3 on passing. ran the ball down their throats, and they scored so quick against the Broncos. That's what I would like the Jaguars to be a team that can do in the future. It's going to take some work. I think we have the right pieces to be in a position to do that. I actually think this wide receiver room is better than people are giving it credit for. We have a lot of solid pieces. And it's going to actually be kind of hard to cut a piece because it's looking like Tim Jones, Laquan Treadwell, and Laviska Shenault are the three that are really fighting for a roster spot. Tim Jones really made a name for himself yesterday too. So we'll see who's the 5th and 6th wide receiver. Marvin Jones, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones are all locks for the roster. So 4th, 5th, and 6th. Oh, and Jamal Agnew's a lock at 4. So you got 5 and 6. And they could only go with 5. I don't think they will. They might go with 6, but we'll see. Those 3 guys are fighting for 2 spots. So we'll see who they pick. In my opinion, you put Tim Jones on the practice squad, you try to trade Laviska, and then you put Laquan Treadwell and Tim Jones on the roster. That's my opinion. I think Laviska has the most trade value. It's not a lot of value, but it is the most out of those guys. So we'll see where that heads out. Last but not least, our red zone offense is just not very good at the moment. It'll get better as the playbook expands, but to me it is kind of a concern that they haven't been able to really put it in the end zone. It was a struggle we had last year, and I really hope we don't have it this year. And last but not least, my big concern, probably my biggest at the moment, is the kicking situation. Ever since Urban Meyer kicked Josh Lambo, it hasn't been the same. I'm tempted to call Matthew Wright myself and be like, hey, try to get back on the Jaguars, because he wasn't the greatest. He didn't have a strong leg. But man, he could at least make a couple kicks every once in a while and some clutch ones. I don't know what we have to do. We might have to draft one next year. Might have to do similar situation to when we got Josh Lambo, when the Chargers didn't re-sign him. We might have to try to figure that out with a team that doesn't re-sign their kicker and let them flourish here. Who knows? But it is an issue. It's an area of concern for not only me, Jags fans, but the coaching staff has came out and said it was disappointing to see what Ryan Santoso did. He's got a leg. He was kicking it out of the back of the end zone. He had the leg to make the 53, the 60-yard. It just was wide. And yes, the 50-plus yard field goal is not automatic, but you got to make the game-winning kick. Like, if you're going to get paid as a kicker, you got to make the game winner. And honestly, E.J. Perry, we'll talk about him for a second. I think he had some areas. Obviously, he's a developmental piece. He's going to be on the practice squad most likely. But he made a few mistakes, and he came back and led a good drive, which is something you want to see from one of your quarterbacks. Even though they make a mistake, you want them to put it past them and make up for it. And to me, he did. He led that. He put him in field goal range after throwing that interception. So, obviously, he's not our future Trevor Lawrence is, but C.J. Beathard's got a good third string / practice squad player. And I hope they can develop him into a solid backup. Would love not to have to pay backups to play, to be here. C.J. Beathard's a more expensive backup. When you kind of rookie as a backup, he's obviously got to be paid more than him. But yeah, solid performance. I have no legit gripes about the game, because a lot of it's going to be fixed with a broader playbook. I do think this team's going to be hard to defend once we're really clicking. And that's why I want to come out of the gates clicking. I don't want to have to wait a drive or two, go down 7 or 10 or 14, and then start clicking. I want to go out and get the lead to start the game and keep the lead and keep the run game going and waste the clock, and which I think we'll get to there eventually. I don't think it's going to be week 1. I think we can win week 1, but I think it's going to be like a week 5, 6 thing before you're like, oh damn, this team's clicking. Hopefully it's not that long, but we have the pieces. We have the guy Trevor. We have the coach Doug Peterson. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Thank you for watching the PI Podcast. Make sure you subscribe and tune in next time so you don't miss the latest news in the NFL world. You can also follow us on TikTok at PIPodcast and on Twitter at PIPodcasters. Until next time.